Show is loaded, so stick around. We're going to talk about missing equipment that tracked Iran's nuclear equipment. So something is up here. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Remember, nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. What is going on, guys? My name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. With all of that said before, I do want you to know that every article, every document, every tweet, if we show you a picture, it's going to be on our website. We make sure to put our sources there so you know exactly where you are getting your information. Now, when you go to our website right now, you'll see it is easily navigatable by thumbnail. You would go to this thumbnail, future is coming on, and then, of course, this could affect us all. And then once you click that, you can actually follow along. You can read along on the articles. You can skip ahead. You can go back retrospectively. And you can also go up to the corner and you can actually search all of our archives. So anything that has happened as far as important news stories, we have archived it on our website. We've even archived our transcript as far as like all the stuff I say if I make a prediction or a claim. We can actually go back and search that claim and it will show us the show that I said it on. If we got information, we can go back and check ourselves. Say if we have a military member tell us that, hey, something's going to happen in October, which we rarely do. Usually it's more like, within 3 months we'll be, back on stay at home or something like that. And then we'll be able to search that. So remember, you can use that. It's a very, very good resource to use. Let's bring in my co-host / internet brother / Dex James. What is going on, Dex, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So a lot of exciting stuff down here. There's also web only that is curated every single day. This is all updated live. If there is an earthquake during the show, we will actually add that. If there is a tornado that is hitting, water, we will add that as well. Remember, you are part of this. So if there is a breaking news story while we're live, so obviously we can't curate, but we can add it last minute while we're on. If you want to call in, this is a live call-in show. Get in early at 224400-MARF. Dex will be on the phones. Again, when you call 224400-MARF, you will actually get the phone tree. Make sure to press option 4, and you will get directly to Dex, if he's not already on the phone. Again, that's 224400-6273. All right, let's get right into the news. Thank you for everybody that has popped in already. We've got Rusty88 and Joe Dirt. Thank you for pledging on Patreon right before the show. I really appreciate that. It shows me when that happens, so thank you so much. Gunpowder Productions, thanks for being one of the last ones out on one of the last shows, so thank you. And then, of course, Space Station Astronaut captures supposed breathtaking view of the edge of the Earth. One thing I think of when I see these pictures, of course, more recently they've showed us a lot more of these. Why, if astronauts have been floating out there for years and years and years, and the technology, has existed to take photos, because now apparently a lot of them show like them using Canons and Nikons. Why, especially in low orbit or in lower orbit or right outside of this? Why have they, not done just like straight up hour-long home videos or something? Like, why is that? I wonder if that's all top secret or what. I know that there is, of course, the, ISS videos. I know that there's certain like little clips and like little shots from inside. Every time I see one of these photos and they do look like this, you always see kind of the atmosphere and something, the auroras or something like that. They all look very, very similar. Dex, this is a pretty photo. What did you think of it, though? And then, by the way, it looks like people are already...
Hey, Adam, it is an interesting photo, depending... I know there's a photographer up there right now who we've seen a lot of these other photos coming out from, right? So interesting photos like that.
Why can't they take pictures themselves? That's what I don't. Because I've seen pictures of people holding Nikons on the spaceship. Why can't they just take pictures every day? Why can't they post to Instagram every 10 minutes everything that they're seeing up there? Or is that some sort of security thing? Like, I don't get that. If they're really up there and they've got a Nikon or a Canon, you would think that they would post all the time. I don't know. It seems to me like now we have this photographer up here. We're going to get all of that. What is it in lead up to? Giant telescope to be built on moon could help humans master interstellar travel. It says new plans to develop a massive telescope on the moon could offer us more insight into the universe more than ever before, even creating the possibility of space travel. It says last year NASA put aside $500,000 for research into the Lunar Crater Radio Telescope, or the LCRT, with the goal of eventually using robots to build the telescope on the far side of the moon. It says it would be placed in a 100-meter wide crater that could cost between $1 billion and $5 billion, according to a leading scientist. It says, why not just build it here? Well, the Earth's ionosphere means that down here we are prevented from observing radio waves longer than 10 m. I guess that's meters, right? I guess radio wave 10 meter, that would be like 30 feet. So that must be miles, or I don't know. It must be meters, right? Being able to see longer waves could offer new insight into mysterious dark matter and dark energy that make up the universe, which we talked about before. They have recently basically said that now the scientific books are getting updated and the whole way that they look at space is changing, or at least that's what they're telling us. So basically everything has changed in the last 5 years. Most people, because we're not in school and we're not learning all the new kind of updates, don't know that they're basically busting out stuff that, now the kids are going to be taught something. It would feel like it was a completely different a world, honestly. They are changing everything because of new discoveries, but also because of all of this new information or old information that they told us wrong the first time around. Like the moon is in the Earth's atmosphere. That's something that they recently found out from old data. Things like that. And then, of course, how they looked at dark matter, I believe, was a big part of it, that everything is changing. So it basically opens this door to, they could say almost anything and it would be explained by that previous kind of breakout science. And then what do you think about the telescope on the moon? Do you think that is an awesome project? Do you think it's a government project? Do you think it's freaky? What do you think? Put it in the comments down below or call in 224-400-MARV. Thank you. Billy Leather says, hey, Foogle fam, love your show. Been watching from the beginning. I have seen you grow through the years, and I want you to know how much I admire your integrity. Keep the faith prepped up because of your show. Hey, I really appreciate that, and thank you guys. And now is more of a time to prep than ever before. Don't get you down that all these people on, at Facebook and all these other places are now like singling out preppers. I think that is the scariest thing I've ever seen, because most preppers or canners or this, at the worst case scenario, you could call them paranoid, but they're not going to go out and take people out or something. Like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing all this weird stuff? Obviously, if you do not see through the veil that this is just like a major change of the world and it's happening in, breakneck speed, then I don't know what to say. Jared F., thank you, says, buy more food and water purification. Speaking of which, again, we picked up a new affiliate because we honestly think that everybody should have access to that kind of stuff. So thank you, Jared F. I appreciate that. We are also trying to expand, so thank you for your support. Jared F. just did a $100 super chat. That is really appreciated. If that was an accident, if it meant to be 10, you can always fix it with YouTube. That is very rare, so thank you so much. Rusty88, I appreciate that. Red Pill Truth just subscribed. Thank you, and welcome to the fam. And then, of course, Rusty88 again, thank you. And Haunted Doll says, they do take tons of high-quality photos up at the space station. Look up Clayton Anderson. He's the astronaut I personally know from my hometown. That is awesome. I think, Haunted Doll, didn't you write me? Because I said, does anybody actually know an astronaut? And I think you were the one who responded, right? Either way, I will look him up, and I will actually correct myself tomorrow. If he's got a whole, Instagram full of photos, I would love to see him. And then the B administration proposal would give IRS access to your bank account. Tax law and federal budgets are inherently boring things, so it comes to no surprise that language is often slipped into those bills that would otherwise cause outrage if proposed individually, like giving the IRS access to your personal and business bank account. The B administration's 2022 budget proposal, which claims to advance equity across government, included a provision that generally slipped under the radar, but of course would impose a generous new reporting or onerous new reporting on community banks and raise privacy concerns. So I talked about this on Twitter, of course, and this is what I'm talking about. So how they are basically singling out, saying, hey, do you know somebody who is too prepared? Do you know somebody who is canning food? Do you know somebody who is growing their own vegetables? Well, we want to know where they are and who they are. Because most likely in martial law, they can say, hey, this is our food and water. But another thing is this. So what this new change would be, somebody said, oh, that's old news. That's been around since the Bush era, right? Yes, they can get access to it, and they can check on you if you take a withdrawal over $5,000 or $10,000, depending on the different laws in different states. But this is over $600. $600 is not Adam, much money.
Actually, this is a big misconception a lot of people have. It's not $600. It's an account that has a value of $600. It is every transaction, so it can be a $1 transaction.
Are you kidding?
5,000. So any account that has a $600 value, they want to have all transactions for them.
That's even scarier than what I thought this was. How this has been put out all over the place is that it was withdrawals over 1,600. So you're basically saying anybody that gets a 2-week paycheck would be monitored. Now, some people go, well, I don't care. I'm not doing anything wrong, so I don't care. The point is that you may care in the future when they pass certain laws that are violating your different demands. There's a reason why the Constitution was put in place. There's a reason why we separated stuff from government, separated church from government. There's reasons why we did what we did. There's a reason why the amendments are there. There's a reason why you have the Second Amendment, because back then the government would come and take you. The government was the one that you were, that's the reason you had those extra arms, right? Is because of them. So, just because we're in civilized, modern civilization doesn't mean that things couldn't turn around in a second. Now, what if you were living in a country where all of a sudden your leader was somebody like a Adolf, right? And, so there's opinions out there, but again, like a true Adolf. And honestly, what would you do? Well, there's reasons why these things are set up. There was reasons why Hong Kong had those things set up. There's reasons why Taiwan has these set up. Taiwan is possibly either going to be taken over voluntarily or by force. They have a democracy just like ours. I mean, people are relatively free. They are a first world country. They have everything, a lot of the freedoms we do. They can go on the internet. They can watch what they want. They can do what they want. They can say a lot of things. They have certain freedoms of speech. Well, guess what? That's all going to go away. So there's things like this happening in the world where if you let one go, then what about the next? What if they go and take another one and say, well, 2,000 years ago, our ancestors claimed that they wanted that, so we want to take Canada, or we want to take Rhode Island just cause, they bust in there like, Rhode Island. I don't know why they would take Rhode Island, but it would probably be pretty easy. Either way, you guys get what I mean. I think this is just a total overreach of just privacy, but whatever. Let me know what you think. Do you think they should have access to every single bank account, basically everybody's bank account, unless you only, put in $5.50, $5.99 every time or something, and then take it out. And then Janet Yellen says the U.S. is on track to default on national debt in October. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned congressional leaders Wednesday that the U.S. is on track to default on the national debt in October if the White House and Congress are unable to raise the debt limit. It says in a Wednesday letter, Yellen said that the Treasury Department would run out of cash and extraordinary measures to keep the federal government within its legal borrowing limit sometime next month. If you're smart, you know that this means that something is popping up. Something needs to happen for them to say, hey, we need to do this, or it will be on the sidelines. So first of all, with this happening, obviously, I have a lot of thoughts about this. I believe that they are trying to go to the digital realm. I think that they will even move things into the crypto space, and a lot of this stuff is going to be happening in the next year or two, if not within the next year. And slowly they're going to force people over because the dollar looks like it's going to collapse. I mean, they can just, this money isn't gold backed. This is just regular money. They can keep printing money as much as they want. So, this is something that we are seeing. This is all kind of a circus and pony show, in my opinion. If you want to read the rest of this article, you can at marfooglenews.com. Some really, really, really freaky stuff. Now, before we go to our first caller, and then Dex, I will pop in and make sure that they got on. If you do want to call in, the number is 2244-00-MARF. That's, again, 2244-006273 if you want to call in on this or anything else. But before I start, I do want to mention our new affiliate. Again, this is really awesome. We've been looking for ways to actually get the Foogle fam prepared with actual food and water and filters and lighters, medical stuff, anything that you can think of. Most likely, My Patriot Supply has it. We have worked out a discount for the Foogle fam, so I hope that all of you guys actually take advantage of this. You can get basically the essentials of life. There are different plans, again, you can go for. You can get several months. You can get a year worth of food. You can get all different kinds of plan. You can get short and long-term survival food, meals averaging 2,000 calories a day, simple, quick, and tasty meals formulated from the care and consideration. It really is good. I tried to try this stuff, and I ordered stuff before about 6 months ago, and I really liked it. And when we had our power outage, I ended up eating like 3 meals of this, and I thought it was so good, I asked Dex to reach out to them. I also use their Alexa Pure Pro as far as the filter. I use a lot of their stuff. It is more affordable than most of the other items out there, especially like the Alexa Pure is the filters, more affordable than, say, Berkey. Berkey is an amazing thing as well. But then again, all of these, the HEPA filters, everything else that's out there, please make sure to go check this out, marfooglenews.com/prep. They are giving a huge discount to all of the Foogle fam. 3 months, I believe it's, Dex, is it 3 months they get $50 off? Or is it 1 month they get $50, or 3 months they get $200
Yeah,
off?
the 4-week supply is $50 off, and the 3-month supply is, I think, $200 off. It's a pretty big deal.
Okay, so 4 weeks, $50 off, and then 3 months, you get $200 off. So that's a pretty big savings. Anyways, make sure to go check it out. I hope you guys end up stocking up. Obviously, you can see what is going on in the world. All of us are doing it. I would say look at what the government, look at what the military is doing, look what the CEOs are doing, look at what everyone else around you is doing. We don't want to be stuck with our pants down like we did at the beginning of CV. Now look at Australia, look at Brazil, look at the things that are happening in France and Canada. Look at this. It's pretty simple to see that something is, it's not going back to normal. That's for damn sure. That's, again, marfooglenews.com/prep. All right, let's get our first caller on, and then we will talk about the fusion gets closer with successful test of a new kind of magnet at an MIT startup backed by Bill Gates. Isn't it funny how much stuff he is involved in? And Lynn, you can come in when you'd like.
Hey, Adam, I'm having a problem with the phone, so give me a few minutes and just keep going.
Okay, no worries. Thank you. Jared F. says, wasn't an accident, LOL. That's huge, Jared. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting independent media. Thank you for supporting the Foogle fam. I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody else here. Delaware Sasquatch says, I'm not a prepperholic. I'm a visionary who has developed a fondness of eating and drinking clean water. Government setting up a scapegoat for supply shortage. So you see all the shortages, see what's happening. By the way, more and more I'm going to say, I would say if you do stuff like this, like go with, My Patriot Supply or something like that, I would just keep yourself doing it. I wouldn't brag about it anymore. That's kind of the point we've gotten at. Not even to friends and family, because you never know if your friends or family or your cousin's going to go on Facebook and do it. Think about this. Facebook, a few weeks before that, directly admitted that they were working with the White House for, disinformation and stuff. And then they started this new campaign. I mean, it was like overnight. All of a sudden they said, do you know somebody that you're worried about that's too prepared? That's silly. Like, that is really silly. And most of you guys know this. My mods know this. Everybody else knows this. That's like freaky. This is scary. Why would being too prepared be a bad thing? They're saying that's nuts. There's always been preppers. It doesn't matter. It goes back years and years. If it wasn't for the end of the world, it was for disasters, or it was for nature survival or anything. There's always been kind of that thing. And the fact that they're doing it now, it really, I think it says a lot. So, and by the way, we've covered many things that this gentleman is getting involved in. I just think it just gives me chills that getting involved in even more. It says fusion gets closer with successful test of new kind of magnet at MIT startup backed by BG. We'll just call him BG from now. Fusion took a key step forward in its movement from the lab to commercial viability with the successful test of a key technology, a very powerful magnet that uses very little energy. It says Commonwealth Fusion Systems, or CFS, and Massachusetts Institute for Technology's Plasma Science and Fusion Center said on Wednesday that they completed the test on Sunday, 6 a.m. at the MIT Plasma Science and Fusion Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It says in the test, the magnet reached 20 Tesla, which is a unit of measurement showing the strength of a magnet. Like the car company, it's named after the engineer Nikola Tesla. For reference, 20 Tesla is 12 times more than the magnetic field of a traditional MRI or magnetic resonance imaging scan, which those are extreme. That's why they tell you, if you have any kind of metal in your body, to let them know, because it can be bad. It says it did this while consuming only about 30 watts of energy, several orders of magnitude less than the traditional copper conducting magnet that MIT had tested previously, which used about 2 million watts. Again, that's 30 watts of energy compared to 2 million in the previous test. Director of MIT PSFC and co-founder of CFS on a conference call with reporters on Wednesday. Nuclear fusion is the reaction that powers the sun and stars. It occurs when two smaller, lighter nuclei merge together to form a single heavier nucleus, releasing energy. If fusion can be achieved on Earth and commercialized, it will provide a nearly unlimited source of clean energy without producing the waste of nuclear fission, which remains radioactive for thousands of years. So they're talking about creating fusion without nuclear fusion. Somehow they would do this, right? Guess who would have power over that? This would be the most powerful discovery. By the way, honestly, for all the people that say that clean and free energy has been around for years, I definitely am starting to believe them, because guess what? And not to say I didn't believe you, but I've never seen I've never had all of this stuff in front of me to say yet. I knew that there were patents, I knew all this stuff, but it's like, doesn't it seem like they've all had this stuff for years and now they're just slowly kind of rolling everything out? Seems like that way to me. It's pretty crazy. Dex, you can let me know if you did get them back. Otherwise, I want to go over to the chat, and I do want to see what you guys think about this. What do you think about BG? And if you can, put any other thing that you have noticed him being involved in. Here's an example: farmland. Again, We've covered all of this. I probably can't, off of the top of my head, think of all of them right off the bat. But then I will pull the chat up on screen and go over it. Thank you. Gone Girl 777 says, thank you, preppers. And then Scooby-Doo Right says, Mrs. Marf rocks. Mrs. Marf, if you're watching, I appreciate you. Love you. And then Raid on Untufa says, the Fed has been telling peeps to prep for decades. Well, yeah, I know. I get that. Miss Jackson 906 says, crazy red lights to YouTube and Twitter. And then let's see here. We've got Gone Girl again says, Foogle fam strong. Thank you. And MRSA, Scooby-Doo Do Right, Marfoogle News rocks. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then Gone Girl 777 says, always news we can use. Gone Girl, nice to see you. And I'm hope you're having a fun time. Brandon Henschel's in the house. If you guys haven't checked out Brandon Henschel's stream on DLive, awesome guy. Him and his wife are just beautiful people. Family has been prepping. Thanks, Adam. By the way, yeah, Brendan Henschel and his wife, again, both are like clean streamers that I can always host if they're on. It's, still haven't been able to host Brendan because I just don't see it. So I'd love for you to go live after. Vault11, another streamer, is in the house. Awesome musician. We've got Miss Jackson and Aunt Ed G. Thank you, everybody that has popped in. You guys are really what makes this show, so thank you so much. And I just can't say enough. All right, let's go over to the chat. So what do you think if he did this? So we've got farmland, of course. We've got the V. Of course, he's involved in that. Billy G. And then food, fake meat. He's involved in fake meat. As far as so, basically, he's going to be like our all-knowing, in charge of everything. Let's see here. Lil Drix, Julia, thank you so much. Juicy, hello, good to see you, says Bear Claus. Carolyn Winkle says, as a cashier, I'm selling more plant-based food. Oh, that's actually interesting. More plant-based food. There's a list of limit of 4 items. Oh, that is interesting. Plant-based food, so more natural stuff. BG is funding, what was that? Funding the nuclear stuff, and he's also funding the company that is going to do the testing. Artemis Prime, love the name, by the way. If you can't tell, I'm a huge Transformers fan. But yeah, he's involved in so much, it's insane. In fact, I think it's straight up evil. BG is evil, says Joy Black. I agree. Enlightened Stardust says 3D printed burger. That's awesome. JAB, Ramsey Montgrant says D-Pop. Ulation. Meat Czar, and then we've got Kavleen, or Kayleen says, what have we been eating if not plants? Yeah, plant-based burgers, right? That's where it's at. Dex, if you lost Lynn, let's get somebody else on. Again,
Adam, I'm having trouble with the phones. Give me another minute. I don't know if I'm going to get it working.
Okay, and I see the no. If Zoom is and all the other things to try to get these people in are broken, then don't worry about it. Jeansley Horsley, thank you for heading over to PayPal during the show. Thank you for the shorts. The info is much appreciated. Love from California, which should be next to Shake. By the way, lots of earthquake activity. We'll talk about that here in a second. Dawn B. Karen W., thank you so much for your support of independent media. A little bit of everything. Amy, Jeremiah was a bullfrog, sending love from northeastern Maryland. Thank you. And then jetpacks will soon be headed to a military in Southeast Asia. It says Jetpack Aviation has sold its first JB-12 jetpacks and also deals to work on other designs with the U.S. Navy SEALs and the U.S. Air Force. It says that Jetpack Aviation has also secured the first sale of its JB-12 to an unspecified Southeast Asian military. So we're straight up, we're going to see guys in jetpacks flying around in the next conflict. That is a really crazy thought. I don't know how useful this would be. This is like straight out of Red Alert 2. If you've ever played that game, or Command and Conquer, where they had the jet troopers, the jetpack troopers. In fact, I think almost every game had like a jetpack trooper StarCraft had one. Everybody had one, right? The Terrans, right? The humans. Let's see here. Scooby-Doo, right? Again, Vachain Gang, thank you. Bear Claws. What do you guys think of this? Would you fly one of these if you had the chance? It says JB-12 is the latest in a line of personal jetpacks available from the California-based firm. Jetpack Aviation has not released any pictures or video footage of this particular model, which is described as, quote, a classified design derived from the earlier JB-11 that is specifically intended for military use. So again, this is not, these models aren't going to be for regular Joes. These are for the military. That's a freaky thought. So the military gets these things. They could be flying above us. I wonder if there's kind of some sort of autopilot with these, if you have to be holding it the whole time. Because think about if some guy actually flies over you with a telescopic camera or something and flies over your house much lower and quieter than a plane could and peeks in your window. Creepy thought. Would you fly a jetpack? Let me know in the comments below. And then Russian emergencies minister dies during Arctic drills. It says a Russian government minister and former member of Vladimir Putin's security detail died during exercises in the Arctic. It says the emergencies minister said Yevgeny Sinyenuchev, 55, died while observing activities in the city of Norilsk above the Arctic Circle. In a statement, the ministry said he was trying to rescue a filmmaker who had fallen off a cliff into a river. The filmmaker, Alexander Melnik, also died. This sounds crazy. Like what a crazy story. It says without a moment's hesitation, he acted not as a minister but as a rescuer. He performed a heroic deed. This is how he lived all of his life. Andrei Gorovich, the deputy emergencies minister, said. It says Zenichev was in the Arctic to oversee large-scale exercises ordered by Putin. In a statement published by the Kremlin, the president said he was shocked by the tragic news and called it an immeasurable personal loss. He is so close to Putin. One thing that I ask, though, is this sounds like kind of the perfect, like, hey, go over there and look at the view and then kick him right off. What was this filmmaker doing the exact film on? Maybe if you guys can find that out, if the Foogle fam can dig into that. What was he doing his films on? Was he doing a film on the Arctic and they didn't want his footage getting out? And maybe the minister knew too much or something and they both got booted off. And then, of course, to the public, he goes out as a hero. He goes out as he was trying to save somebody. I don't know. I just know from our own history and from Russia's declassified history of some of the dirty things they did to cover up stuff. And I'm not even talking about like the big things. I'm talking about smaller things with of course, their KGB. They did some really savage stuff, especially in Europe. They did some horrible, horrible things to their own people because they could not let secrets get out. That is one thing that they are solid on. If they have secrets, they stay secrets, or at least, for the most part. What do you think? Do you think that this was an accident and he heroically tried to save somebody going off a cliff? Or do you think this is a real easy way to explain away?
Well, and let's not forget, this was a filmmaker and he was right there. So was the filmmaker filming him? Was he part of something? Obviously, he was in the vicinity, really close. So must have been part of whatever they were filming. And
we know that they're cutting a pathway through the Arctic, and they're making a new strait. They're also making a new strategic waterway for China and Russia, and they say that it would be an imperative waterway during if they have a WW3. So it would be something that they would use.
And also they were on land, even though they were in the Arctic Circle, which I thought was mostly ice up there. I didn't think there was much land because they say he hit himself on a protruding rock, which there wouldn't be rocks in the ice, right? I have to look and see where this exact location was. Maybe it is part of land up there, but it's mostly ice.
Details.
No land.
Details, the one rock in this whole ice cap. Well,
I'm sure the circle extends into land, so they probably were on land, obviously, if you hit a rock. But it's just kind of interesting when you think about it.
Well, I mean, but they even had to say by hit a protruding rock. It sounds like the other guy died because it was the distance they fell. I mean, of course there was a protruding stuff. It's like they were like, what do we say? Oh, he fell off a cliff and hit a protruding rock. That sounds good. But sir, there's no rocks in the ice caps. Just say it. Just say it anyways. Just put it out. Print it. Print it. Although they say it. I know. It's almost like I'm a native. The accent. Super good.
Well, I looked up the city, and to be fair, it is in land, but it is obviously up in the circle. But it is one of the few areas where there's land in the circle. But yes, it's still interesting to think about.
Dex. Now, none of the jokes work. All right. Well, either way, so he hit a protruding rock. What a weird way to describe it. Why would you even add that? I mean, it's like he fell off a cliff. He fell from the fall. And then, of course, China weighing occupation of former U.S. airbase at Bagram. It says a view of the Bagram airfield base after the U.S. and NATO forces evacuated in Parwan province, eastern Afghanistan on July 8th, 2021. It says China is considering deploying military personnel and economic development officials to Bagram airfield, perhaps the single most prominent symbol of the 20-year U.S. military presence in Afghanistan. It says the Chinese military is currently conducting a feasibility study about the effect of sending workers, soldiers, and other staff related to its foreign economic investment program, known as the Belt and Road Initiative, in the coming years to Bagram, according to a source briefed on the study by Chinese military officials who spoke to U.S. News on the condition of anonymity. Because they didn't want to be talking about this out loud, right? It says a spokesman for the Chinese foreign minister on Tuesday issued a carefully crafted denial of plans for an imminent takeover of the military airfield roughly an hour from Kabul. Again, that was the same airfield that was first established by the Soviets during their own occupation in Afghanistan, and which, at the height of the U.S. military presence, there was the busiest in the world. So let me get this straight. So it's almost like overnight, all of the 300,000 soldiers just dropped all their weapons and said, we're going. The president literally had 4 SUVs full of American cash. Again, he couldn't fit all of the American actual cash in a helicopter, so he loaded up 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 full SUVs of hard, cold American cash into his SUVs and bounced out of there. They took over in 11 days, which everyone says it is impossible without support of some kind, or without just the other side going, oh, no, it's planned. Don't worry about it. Oh, let him through. No, this is part of the plan. Or China backing them up in some regard, or having infiltration to where our side just says, come on home, just bring them out no matter what. Don't put up any kind of fight. Just leave. And China comes in and just a couple weeks later takes over the airbase that we just had. Dex, am I getting this right?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail right on the head.
This is what I don't get. The people that are sleeping that believe the official stories and just believe that this is all coincidence, and that don't look deeper into all this and don't see all of these things going on, that don't look into the pharmaceutical companies, they don't look into anything. I'm starting to really get frustrated with it. And you guys know I try to push everybody up. I try not to be rude to people, but I'm sorry. It's really hard right now when you see people believing just everything. I have family, my sisters, one of my sisters is just, I mean, went to the point of just, she is completely the epitome of what I see as just absolute gullibility, like just believing anything. And I think that people choose to do so because it's less stress. People don't want to actually look into it, and then they read what is given to them, what's fed to them through their FB, their Facebook feeds, what is carefully crafted to be an echo chamber of their own thoughts, and they think they're right to the point where they're even pompous about saying these narratives that are completely and utterly false. Do you know somebody like that is basically just completely, basically chooses to be clueless about it? Like this whole thing where they're purposely saying, like Joe Rogan, where Joe Rogan took a certain, veterinarian thing, right? We all know he took the humankind, which was, prescribed by a doctor, and it's the humankind that's safe. And people were like, but it's not safe for that. It's actually safe. So if it's safe, it's safe. What it isn't is, directly for, right? It hasn't been, there's not studies behind it. But what if they found out, vitamin C was the cure for something? Would you wait for them to do studies on it? It's vitamin C. It's something that's safe. Or what if it was like, something like that was Wellbutrin or something, something that's been around for a long time that you could just, substitute.
Aspirin.
Would you go, well, but I don't know. This is a very specific thing, This is.
Wait a minute. That's dog aspirin. Hang on.
Well, it's fiery diarrhea. We got to wait for the studies to come back, because I'm not going to take aspirin for fiery diarrhea if they, But, my friend says he had the same fiery stuff and he took it and it stopped it. But I'll wait. You get what I'm saying? And then every news out there goes and says that people are taking this horse stuff, right? That's crazy. The actual medication won a Nobel Peace Prize for its conversion into the human market. So I won't get any further than that, but I mean, it's like, come on. They even think that he's going to sue CNN. I believe that is in our that's in our web only content, right, Dex?
I think it may be.
Okay. Fake pro-China accounts tried to push Americans to attend anti-racism protests. So what's funny to me is the same companies that are kind of putting this information out there, a lot of the other companies that are surrounding this, all these big corporations that just a few months ago had this thing of like anti, stop the Asian hate. A lot of people questioned if there was actually any in the first place. This is kind of like what happened after September of 2001. After the events of September, a lot of people, they had this news cycle right before the conflict, or right at the beginning of it, where they said that people were treating people of a certain descent badly, right? And they said, stop the anti-this, hate. Now it's like everything repeats itself, right? Well, they say these same companies that were just saying this a couple months ago are now putting this information out, saying that it was fake pro-China accounts that were trying to push Americans to attend these things. They said that they weren't exactly super successful, but they did end up, they were basically trying to get Asian Americans to come out and protest against this, and to protest against the narrative that this came from a LAB in WU Han. So, and then of course they are putting out this story on August 29th. They put it out to the entire country of China. They put it out in the actual People's Daily and in the Shenhuan newspaper, which is the government's mouthpiece, that we did it. that essentially that it's from a base here in the U.S., that this whole event started in a base in the U.S., and then we're saying it started in a LAB in, of course, Han, right? So you've got this back and forth. So I posted this and I said, I said something, and they go, "You think that they're going to war because of this stuff, or something related to this?" And I said, "No, not this." I put the video out. If you didn't see that on Marfoogle News, make sure to go check out that last video with the legs of Xi on it with WAR. We put a lot of that. They're turning civilian ferries into, of course, drop ships for an island invasion type thing. They are mobilizing millions of troops. They are actually building mock buildings of all of the countries. I believe that we're going to hear soon. It's not just Taiwan. They're making a mock, White House. They're making a mock all this kind of stuff to plan takeovers. That's information that I believe in. I don't think that. I don't think that's out in the general public. But that's what we have been hearing from our military group, from multiple people, saying that they don't only have the full-size Taiwan cap, but other countries' capitals is too. So pretty trippy stuff. So anyways, they're doing all of that. You're seeing they're basically banning all English teachers. They're all these English schools that was like the only way that real Americans could actually go over and live over there was to teach English and to do it through their system, because you can't work there as a non-citizen. And then of course they're cutting out all Western culture. They're stopping movies. They're stopping gaming. They're stopping everything. This is what you do right before a conflict. You put red in your citizens' eyes and say that is the enemy. They've already started putting up propaganda posters. This is the enemy. This is it. And then we have done the same. Only we did in a more subtle way. Articles are everywhere, basically putting us to hate them as well. They're getting us to hate each other so they can get support for it. And they don't need monetary support, they don't need it, but it makes it easier. It makes it easier for them to do their operations. Pretty crazy stuff, though. Okay. So some of the programs that we use to do our phones, we have 3 programs that all have to work in Coruscant for the phones. One of them basically has changed. They've done some sort of new update. So again, we will not have calls today. We will figure out something by tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys. If you are calling in 224-400-MARF, you can also leave a message there too if you want to try to leave a message and get on the next show. Dex, do you think we can? Do you think that it's something that's fixable? I know that
Yeah, I hope so. It's just not going to get fixed right now.
I know you can't do it while you're doing everything else. So
I've been trying.
Okay, well, it's not a big deal. You just relax. Just join the show with me then. I know that people want to hear your opinions on this stuff too. As far as the fake pro-China, isn't it weird that the same companies that were just like posting commercials and stuff, basically saying, don't do this, and now they're saying that this is kind of like fake? And he's gone.
No, I'm back. Sorry, I'm trying to call callers. They can't come on. What'd you just ask me? I apologize.
Oh, well, the same companies that were basically just saying, stop, this kind of hate are now reporting that they're saying that it's all fake and it's all, accounts that are, China.
Yeah. And that's just, it's crazy when you think about the fact that it is those companies that were participating in it, right? Like they're
literally
participating in it, and literally, and then we've got, these the system, this organization from China that's actually instigating it, right?
It sounds really, really weird. Cybersecurity,
and it's everything we've said. Like, we said this was happening. We said this was going to happen. We said they had the power to do this, and they continue to do it day after day, and we're seeing it. And I bet this isn't the first. We're going to see much more of this.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that we're going to see it soon. Before we get on to nuclear monitors, so by the way, this is one of the the biggest things, I think, but we just don't even know it yet. Essentially, the equipment that monitors what they're doing in a certain nuclear facility that the world is watching, that equipment that records everything they do to stop them from doing it just disappeared. So we'll talk about that here in just a second, which brings me to my next point. We have shown you why we believe that this is a good product for us to affiliate with. There's a reason for every product that we do. I don't want to basically do an affiliate thing and get a commission off of something I don't truly believe in. EMP Shield is not only an amazing veteran-owned company, but they make basically the best and one of the few alternatives as far as surge protection on steroids that is so good that the military is using it. The DoD, DHS has been contracted with the EMP Shield, and then of course the DEMSO team picked up EMP Shields as well. So they are protecting themselves with it. I don't understand why people would even question doing the same thing that they're doing. They're not telling us about it either. So again, this can protect you against all three phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3, and they make different versions for different things. You can get one for your car. So if we have a just wave after wave of EMP coming in, because they come in waves, and you're 100 miles away from home, or you're 20 miles away from home in your car, this will ground the signal before it can fry your device. And then a second wave comes. You're 5 miles down the road. When the second wave comes, it will ground that one as well. This is meant to stop the waves as they come. So again, this is something they gave up after like 42 times. It's Keystone military tested. So if you really want true protection on your different devices, say if you want one in your home, wired into your home to protect all of your devices within a certain range, or one on your generator or your solar system. People don't think about that. They think, oh, I've got solar backup. What if your solar system's fried? Your generators, all of that can be protected. This company this also gets you protected doubly well from a solar flare, the natural kind, CME up to 228,000 amps. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. A small commission goes to us, and you get a huge discount. So it helps everybody. It's a win-win. It helps us grow. It helps us expand. We appreciate you. And again, in advance, I think that this will, if and when we have this happen, which again, the natural kind will happen, I believe it will save lives. So again, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. All right. And then Dex. Nuclear monitors say surveillance gear is missing in... I went to the store here, right? I ran to the store.
No surprise. Yeah, like this story is really interesting.
So basically there is this equipment that monitors what they're doing and what kind of stuff they're making. During this blast that we covered, a mysterious blast that shook the centrifuge workshop in Iran, is still reverberating among international nuclear monitors who are, of course, now reporting that some of their surveillance equipment went missing in the June incident. It says the International Atomic Energy Agency told diplomats in the restricted report that a failure to recover its recording devices could imperil inspectors' ability to reconstruct activity at the facility in the town of Karaj, located in Tamrun. It says the workshop produces components for centrifuges and fast spinning machines used to enrich uranium. Iran, of course, suspended IAEA access to the site in late February, but allowed cameras to continue filming and said that the data would be given to inspectors if its nuclear agreement with the world powers is restored. So the video evidence straight up went Epstein and just disappeared.
And the equipment, not just that video, but the equipment that they're measuring this stuff with. So basically they said, hey, trust us, we're going to be good. Right now we don't have an agreement anymore, so we're going to do what we want to do. But if we reach that agreement, you can come in and read all of the data and prove that we didn't build nukes. But now all of that equipment that was reading and monitoring that data is missing. It's now gone. So there's no way for them to say, oh yeah, during that time period, you didn't create nukes, or you did. We don't know. They're basically, they have gone rogue, so to speak, and they can do what they want right now, and they've been doing what they wanted since February.
So, and we have no idea what. And by the way, so isn't it funny timing? Just yesterday we covered that they're doing this alliance, the axis of evil, if you will, the new axis of evil, where it's the I country, it's China, it's Russia. They are one of them, right? Are they?
They're one of them, and so is PAC, and PAC is with them. By the way, PAC was funding the A country in the tally there, right? But the other thing to think about is, PAC is a close neighbor, even though China is really close too, but it's so huge. But PAC also has nukes, so you've got China, Russia, PAC, all nuclear powers. And if you add the I country to it, that's going to be yet another. 3 of their closest now closest friends have this capability, and they're potentially creating it themselves right now.
So this is just odd timing. Of course, this goes missing. Just yesterday or the day before, we were talking about how they joined this axis of evil, and now they have grouped up. So what would you need to do before a major conflict? Well, you would definitely want to find your allies and line all that up. You definitely want to line up your troops. You would definitely want to line up your communications as far as separating your internet and everything else. It's almost like, and then right before, I just found out this, and I was going through older information. Did you know that right before they did this brief announcement that said Russia, Vladimir said, "Hey, we're thinking of putting this law in that separates our internet from the rest of the world." Right before that, he met with Xi Jinping. It's like everything is happening. It's so obvious, but then they're just saying it's something different. Why that matters is it's almost like they both were like, "Hey, let's do this. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's take over. You get that side of the earth, we'll get this side of the earth, and then we'll figure out later if we're going to fight each other." Gone Girl 777, salute. Thank you so much for your support. It says EMP shield on my trike, EMP on my house, and EMP shield on my car and truck. Woot woot. Gone Girl, that is really awesome. Thank you, and I'm really glad you did that, because you're always on your trike. If you got stuck on your, I would assume maybe one of those would be okay, but that trike, I would assume not. I would think that all motorcycles would not have the ability to do that. I don't know if newer motorcycles are any different, but Kitty Mouse, Angela 1809, Mary X, Bear Lover. We've got Jake Rhett. Amanda Rachel says, "Thank you, Adam, Dex, and family and mods." Thank you. Chili Cheese Variant just followed. That is probably my favorite screen name of the day. Chili Cheese Variant. That is awesome. That comes before the Fiery variant, of course, which you can cure with aspirin. Could Boston Dynamics robots beat me in a fight? Okay, so basically this is all for the brief part here. This is incredibly crazy. We do have a tweet. Okay, so this is a video of what is going on. So check this out. If you haven't seen this yet, it is absolutely insane. Again, this has been out for a couple days. Absolutely nuts. This is a Boston Dynamics robot doing kind of a American Ninja course. Now, if they can do this with robots and very soon do it affordably, very soon do it with the combination of AI, we are in a sci-fi film. We are literally in a sci-fi film in just a couple years. We're talking about the stuff that we thought was just so absurd is now going to happen. It's not going to like stop at some level, and we're at the level of scary AI. He's brushing off his shoulders. He is brushing off his shoulders. some people may think that that's awesome, and I agree, it is. But that is incredibly scary. Guess who gets those first? Military and police. So keep that in mind. The military dogs are already working in bomb squads. They're already working in the streets. They're already working for CV. So just imagine when these come down, because now, like everything else, there'll be $1 million to start. There'll be $200,000, and there'll be $100,000. Then all of a sudden, they're $25,000, and your local police department has 5 of them. They're equipped with facial recognition. They don't even need a weapon because they can run faster than a human, catch you, and crush your bones if you try to run. That kind of stuff. So, and I mean, it will take somebody's career. Which, by the way, I have just had several really positive interactions with police around, and I've seen some things that I just thought were really great. Lately, I don't know why, I keep catching this where people run up to cops and say, like, thank you, and it's just a sweet moment. I don't like how they politicized, like, if you support police or you don't support police. I think I support, the good people behind that. They're doing a job, just like anything. There's janitors that are jerks. There's janitors that are the coolest people just because the extra job. I have friends, too, like Brian from High Impact. He believes it's a fraternal order of evil. I get his view as well. I see both sides. But I think that we should point out the good police that, we do know in our neighborhoods and in our areas, because they are freaking amazing. If you have a local police officer that you want to spotlight and say that he is an amazing police officer, and if you personally know he's helped out in the community or whatever, let me know. I would love to have, somebody like that and interview him and talk to him. And then here's another one. Check this out. This is the I guess the bloopers, right?
Yeah, just to show you that they're not it's not CGI. These actually didn't always work.
It's so scary how human-like they are. It's so scary how human these things are. Even their screw-ups are human, right? Let me turn that off. Is that not insane or what? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. This is a previous video of how they did several of these. They also had funny videos made after these. They had a CGI company. I believe it was what was that? It's a YouTube channel. It's huge. They do CGI stuff. They made a parody of it, basically beating them up, and then the robot at the end gets mad and takes them all out with a weapon or whatever. But somebody said, I hate this video. It made a lot of people think that Boston Dynamics is a fake company and everything is CGI, that what they do. So maybe this one is actually CGI. One of them was. I don't think it's actually. No, this is the fake guy's video. This is exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, this one was actually this was pretty funny. Knowing what Boston Dynamics actually does, the robot gets pissed and starts getting mad. Anyways, moving on. Strong Acapulco quake. Aftershocks unnerve Mexican resorts residents. It says Acapulco, Mexico, shaken residents slept in cars on the streets of Mexico famed Acapulco Beach Resort early on Wednesday as a series of strong aftershocks. That is scary. I mean, imagine that coming at you. Aftershocks. After an earthquake, you got to worry about the aftershocks. And then, of course, ripped through the city after a powerful earthquake that killed one man. It says the 7.0 magnitude earthquake hit 11 miles northeast of Acapulco in southwestern Guerrero State late on Tuesday. It damaged the control tower at the Beach Resort International Airport, cracked walls in a hospital attending CV, and triggered landslides and gas leaks. It also released a gaggle of aftershocks. Very scary together. In big numbers, aftershocks can be deadly. However, the quake did not cause major destruction, according to initial reports by authorities. In Acapulco, dozens of cars lined the beachfront promenade, lemonade, a Reuters witness said, with more joining after a big aftershock struck shortly before daybreak. So they got really lucky with this. This was a giant earthquake, and this was after we had a supposed or a deleted earthquake the day before, I believe, in Canada, where it said there was a 6.5, then it was deleted, then it just disappeared. And then we had a real big earthquake. So, the Ring of Fire is very active right now. If you're on the West Coast or anywhere along that Ring of Fire, I would highly recommend just having extra food and water. Just, make sure that you have everything. It looks like, hold on, let me turn that off.
Similar to what happened in D.C. when the lightning bolt struck the monument there, that God was talking. Well, this earthquake happened in Mexico the same day that a big legislation thing that they did that was pretty powerful in their country. So a lot of people are questioning that.
It says, hold on, I don't think it.
And that's not in the article.
No. I thought, because it wasn't somebody saying that. We should have grabbed that tweet. So basically, they're saying that God was interjecting because they passed this really horrible, very restrictive law, and then boom, God brought in a huge earthquake. What do you think? Do you think it was God telling them to not do it? Let us know in the comments below. The Declaration of Independence gives every human being the right to remove government by force. This includes everyone that gets in the way. I tried to warn the police community to resign in March 2020 before this happened. I think if you look at what is happening in other countries, the police, fire, and everybody else, they're getting involved in the opposite thing. They're joining, they're marching along. So I don't know. I mean, these are human beings. That's the thing. People see the job. I think everybody's a human being, and everybody can be evil or good. There's good people and there's evil people. And now, by the way, now it's made it even worse. If you are pro police or whatever, then people call you the R word, right? They say, "Oh, you're racist," right? How? I mean, there's cities where the entire force, there's like cities where it's like 75 or 80% black to white ratio. It's like, how would that make you that? That doesn't. They're all colors are police, all colors. But again, I should have who I should have Brian from High Impact on, and have him talk about this, because that would be a really interesting call. Because I don't care what anybody says. I think that there are good policemen out there, and if you don't like that, I'm sorry. They're human beings. Of course, there's good people out there. The person who taught me how to tie my shoes and to dribble a basketball was our neighbor. When I was a kid, he was a deputy or a sheriff. I don't know what. He was higher up in it, and he was a veteran at that point. The guy had everybody in his neighborhood in his best interest. He was an amazing guy. He was somebody that was a role model. Back then, you actually did have some good, community role models. Look at what kids look up to now. They look up to other kids on TikTok. They look up to 12-year-old girls showing their bodies off and stuff. It's just wrong. And then we go off and they're arresting people for having this child. So what about TikTok that's putting it out there for everybody to see, and then everybody's participating in it? Don't understand it. Anyways, that was a rant. And then we have Mercedes' new car reads driver's mind in milestone of merging man and machine. Elon Musk has pioneered self-driving cars driven by artificial intelligence as well as a computer interface controlled by the human brain. But Mercedes has gone one better and combined both of those ideas into a revolutionary new concept car. It's, of course, the Mercedes Vision AVTR is a demonstration platform for some wildly futuristic ideas that you might see cropping up in the German car manufacturer's next-gen saloons in a few years' time. Basically, what this does is instead of getting distracted by dashboard controls, Mercedes designers envision a future where drivers can adjust the radio, air con, and maybe even one day the sat-nav just by thinking about them. Look, this is just a trip. What in the world? Okay, that's a trip. So if you can barely tell because this looks like she's sitting in like a shipping label package. What the hell is this? But this whole thing is some sort of big screen. She's wearing a headband that monitors her thoughts or the little wavelengths that goes off of it. And then you could change the radio. You could do all that kind of stuff. This is stuff that's happening right now. We're going to have robots. We're going to have flying cars. We're going to have guys on jetpacks. Like, just this episode basically shows us our future. And it's not 10, 15 years away. If we survive past 2025, we're going to have jetpacks, flying cars, all the things that we originally thought the future would be when we had Back to the Future and all these things. Those are all still coming. They were just a few years behind. The dates were off. The times were off. This is nuts.
This will get everybody comfortable with the idea of plugging their brain in. In this case, it's just a headband. I don't worry about it. It's a headband I can change, and I can turn up and down the volume of the music while I'm driving. And that's, just the baby step towards, plugging in completely, right? And never mind, you won't know what it can actually read from your mind. You just know what it does for you, but maybe it's doing a whole heck of a lot more.
Well, think about when they get to the point where Neuralink will be non-invasive surgery where it just is like a little prick, like it's like, and then boom, then you can plug in an external little device that just kind of slaps on. It'll be the mark of the whatever, boom, slaps on there, and then you have internet. You're built in. You just boom, you're the Matrix, right? People think that this is far-fetched. Neuralink is a real thing. They're testing it. They're doing it.
Well, I can tell you right now, the marketers are going crazy because they're saying, look, if you can put this in the car and the guy can turn up and down the air conditioning and change the radio, just let us know when he's hungry so we can put an ad on the screen for McDonald's or Burger King, whoever's paying the most.
Yep. Think about that. You could tap into their emotions. You could tap into their feelings. If they just broke up, you can, put, liquor store on the screen or something, whatever. Just an example. If they are hungry, to put food, Taco Time, your local restaurants. Hey, are you hungry? Here are some local restaurants. Here are some local restaurants. You get the picture. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Hey, Google. Okay, Google. I just wanted to mess with you guys. Trust Cafe has subscribed. Thank you. Indio Serpientes. Thank you. Incendio. I'm sorry I said that wrong. Incendio Serpientes. Thank you so much for subscribing. JPerp3, thank you. Life is better on stilts. Thank you for your support. So you're popping over there, aren't you? You're normally on D Live. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then we've got Joseph Newhouse says, hey, missed my early message, but look up a new Australian icebreaker, allegedly 2 times as big, but only one extra cabin. Australian icebreaker, huh? And then Machina Opus, thank you from Australia, says, Mama don't like tattletales. That's right. R11 Baldwin, thank you for subscribing. Guts, thank you for subscribing. Little Red KS Julia, thank you so much for your support of the channel. I appreciate you. Lindsay Renee 01, thank you as well. I don't I don't believe I missed anybody there, but thank you. And again, Joe Dirt, thanks for joining on Patreon. It says Prince Andrew bolts for Balmoral in bid to avoid being served sex assault papers. Prince Andrew has made a bolt for the safety of Balmoral. I don't know why this just, with Prince Andrew saying these things together, just makes me want to gag. Balmoral? Okay. Anyways, and the Queen to avoid multiple attempts to serve assault legal papers at his Windsor mansion. It says the scandal hit the Duke of York was pictured with ex-wife Sarah Ferguson yesterday fleeing the Royal Lodge, where he had been holed up for refusing to go outside or go horse riding, or even deworming those horses manually. That's his favorite pastime. No medicine needed. He does it by hand. And then, of course, Andrew 61 has rejected several attempts over the past fortnight by U.S. lawyers to serve legal papers on his doorstep as security guards turned them away. Wow. Dex, imagine where you're so high up that like the police or security guards come and you can actually turn them away.
Yeah, just send them away. I don't need that warrant. Thank you.
That's like, you're the royal family. Like, you can't touch, like, they are above the law. He's never going to see prison time if he did anything bad. Or, I don't know. That would be, wouldn't that be the first time ever in history that happened? Has there ever been a royal family member that has gone to jail?
I have not heard of one.
I'll wait. I don't think there has been. Maybe like married in family members or somebody else, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll correct it. It comes as he failed to respond to the Jeffrey EpiPen's former sex slave Virginia Jaruf lawsuit in New York a month ago, accusing him of RAPE in the first degree. It says the papers have not yet been served on Andrew or his lawyers, despite multiple attempts in the past 2 weeks in the Royal Lodge in Windsor. Yeah, of course they haven't been served, because he is juking like that. Whoopsh, 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 whoop. That's the royal slide. The royal slide. The royal slide. Global impact after Sharts would be really crappy. That was a good one. No, these were after sharks. Totally different. Totally different species. And then Gone Girl 777, Dustin Davis, Houston HPD. Hey, big shout out to Dustin Davis from Houston HPD. Houston Police Department. That is what I'm talking about. There are so many good police out there. That is amazing. Thank you, Gone Girl. I'm glad you know, and I bet everybody does. There's probably a local police that you guys know, most of you anyways, that is an awesome guy or girl. Global Impact, Foogle Fam are awesome. Scooby-Doo Do Right, The Bear Claws, Recalcitrant, Angela 1609, Bobby D. People need to wise up and rise up. Lily Boo, I agree, Bobby D. And then Scooby-Doo Do Right, Lily Boo loves Adam. Tail Wag, Scooby-Doo, thank you for the tail wag. And let's see here. We've got Mr. Mo, thank you. And I apologize for missing you there. Thank you for sticking around. And Brendan Henschel, I hope you and your wife are still doing good. Thank you guys for sticking around. Dex, that is really too bad about the phones. Can you go over our web-only content?
Absolutely. So for those of you that don't know, head over to marfooglenews.com and then click on the thumbnail for this show. Then scroll down and you will find a section that says web-only content. There's every one of these pages for every one of these shows. It's on our website. So just go there for this show, and you can go to the previous shows. If it's one of our main live shows, it will have web-only content. It's like a whole other show in and of itself. It's everything we couldn't cover, whether it's too hot for TV, too far to one side or another. just didn't make the cut. So head over there, look for the thumbnail for the show, click on it, scroll down to web only content. Some interesting things going on with the bean counters. Actually, there's something, some claws are coming out from Hollywood against some famous people, which I would hope that person is making sure that their whereabouts is always known, because there will probably be some clause coming back for him. But go take a look. Even some stuff on the politics side, and then of course everyone's favorite doctor is still getting lambasted like he should. And so go take a look. Marfooglenews.com. Click on the thumbnail, scroll down, and look for the title that says web only content.
And then just a reminder, if you did miss it, because it is the first time we've ever done this. If you would like to go over to our new Patriot Supply link, you can go do so. I believe, let's see here. Boom. And then pop over to this, marfooglenews.com/prep. You can get $50 off on a 4-week supply or $200 off on a 3-month supply. That includes essentially the essentials of life. Everything there, really great stuff. But not only that, once you go to this link, it ends up helping us. If you end up getting other stuff, not only will you get a discount, but you will also, of course, be able to shop all sorts of survival products. And they're all really great. They're affordable. And you're going to end up getting a discount on them as well. So again, we wouldn't do it unless it was. Let's see here. Just a reminder, to get notifications, make sure to go to marfooglenews.com again, and then you can actually sign up for our notifications right there. So I'll put this up, and then on this about a time, it's about a time for the shoutro. Dex, thank you for your service tonight. I appreciate you, and much love.
Much love, brother. Great job.
It is now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a pineapple. Gotcha. Shoutro. If you want to keep following after it cuts off on YouTube here, you can go over to either DLive or over to Marfoogle Jams, our third channel. Marfoogle Jams, our third channel. Boom, boom. Marfoogle Jams, our third channel. Marfoogle Jams, our third channel. Marfoogle Jams, our third channel. Oh. Marfoogle Jams, our third channel. Marfoogle Jams, our third channel. Marfoogle Jams, our third channel. So this is where I say a big shout out to the top supporters of tonight. Jared F., you are number one on YouTube. That is for sure. Thank you, Jared F. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now let's make a Jared song. Jared, I bring it, Barry. Jared, I Barry. 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 I bring Jared, I Barry. Ow. Jared, I bring in a Barry and a Barry and a bone. Jared, I bear it and I'm never scared. Jared, I bear it and never scared. Jared, I bear it and I'm never scared.
to the flip in the Billy Giant. Bring it back, piano girl Lamont. Stormy 7572 is on with John and Mr. Juice. See, I'm bringing it down. Oswald and then the Joy Black. I've got the bear claws, Laura Griffith. I got the Ishad left, Schneiderman in the British. I gotta go back global in the impact British. Unisality, Dwayne on the Busham. Bring it right back, I'm the new chomp. Who the Scun family, who the Scun farm? I'm malicious and not Buddham. Or maybe now like Sudam. Or maybe like Sudam. All them people Sudam. Android Architect. Android Architect on the check out on the Daily News. Got that new Marfoogle Network.